Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. If you're in Alberta or Edmonton area, where I am, or Sherwood Park, good afternoon, everyone. It's our lunch hour conversation. My name is Dune Nguyen, and can our audience, anybody who's listening, just let me know if you can hear us loud and clear. I'll just double check on the audio here myself as well. And hopefully everybody is doing well. And just want to check on the sound here. Okay, we have audio. Wonderful. Audio is always important to have on a show like this where we're doing a lot of talking. And again, hope you're having a good day so far. It's Friday. It's Friday, everybody, or it might be Saturday somewhere else in the world already. Some of my friends are already into Saturday. But welcome to what I call the Conversations with Dune and Friends show. And today we're going to have a very special guest joining us. Is James Beaudry from the James Beaudry Band. And without a lot of delays, I'm going to bring you on screen here right away. Here's James. So hopefully you are ready to get on stage here. And so James, I met James a few years ago through the music scenes, but as many of you have seen and heard in the last few days, as well as we all aware, musicians also have other aspects to their lives. And so James has a lot of different aspect to his life that he's going to share. So today we're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about bands. We're going to talk about really overcoming obstacles. And James has lots of stories to share there. So I'm going to bring our guest, James Beaudry, on screen here. So let's see if we can make that happen here. So I'm going to go ahead and take off my photo here, and that can go. And in fact, that can go too. All right. Well, welcome, James. How are you today, my
Cheers.
friend?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me on your little program.
Yeah, wonderful. Hey, I don't know what you're drinking, but I've got water in here, so might be filtered, might be not. We'll see.
Well, I got some coffee and some sparkling water.
Yeah. Hey. Well, good to see you, my friend. It's been a few days now.
Yes, it has been.
Yes. So maybe our viewers can help us. Let us know if you can hear both James and myself clearly, and if the balance of the voice is about the same volume. If you could help us with that confirmation in a comment, that would be great. And by the way, throughout the show, which is about 45 minutes or so, maybe 50 minutes, we will welcome any questions or comments from you. And certainly James would do his best to provide the appropriate answers along the way. And wonderful. Jared had said here that it's clear as day on both ends. So
Right on.
I'm going to just display here. Thank you, Jared. And hopefully I say your name correctly there. And wonderful. And let's see here. So James, let me kind of introduce you to our guests here, or our audience a little bit here, our listener, our viewers.
Please do.
Yeah, you were born with a guitar in hand, pretty much, is what I understand. Just came out with an electric guitar and just rock it out right from then into all kinds of music, and joined all kinds of bands and wrote all kinds of songs and performed lots of original, as well as you have an act that is very unmistakable, and we'll see and hear some of that later. But tell us more, James. Share a bit more so our viewers know who we're listening to here for the next 45, 50 minutes.
Well, anybody that has to listen for the next 50 minutes because they have nothing better to do, my bad. No. Well, yeah, no, from a very young age, my parents had told me that when I was a toddler, I would I would cry and cry and cry until they would put Pavarotti on the TV for me. So my guess being I don't have any recollection of this, but my guess is I loved music from a very young age.
Mhm.
Um, And then from there, it just grew. My parents brought me up on, the classic rock, AC/DC, Zeppelin, Sabbath, all the greats. Pardon me. Which brought on my love for, guitar and music. I actually used to write down other people's music. For instance, I can remember listening to the Backstreet Boys all the time, and I would write down their music, and I can say that helped me through the years on how to structure a song and how to write a song. Whether they wrote those songs or not, it isn't the point. It's that it taught me how to properly structure a song. Your verse, chorus, guitar solo, bridge, and then so on and so forth. I want to say it was grade 9, about halfway through grade 9. A buddy of mine, AJ, played the drums. His dad played in a band too, so they had all the equipment at his house, and he said, "Hey, we should start a band." And I just started coming out of my shell for singing and wanting to, I guess, try to pursue that. And he recruited his buddy Adam, and we started a band called 7 Second Tragedy. We used to play Billy Talent covers and Green Day covers. Literally, we were a Billy Talent and Green Day cover band. So it was that was our repertoire. We quite enjoyed those, and then we got into some older songs such as like Ballroom Blitz or even The Boys of Summer.
Yeah.
We ended up doing at one point. So that was really fun. That lasted, I don't know, about a year or so. I think we only played 1.5 shows, and I only say there's a half a show because from what I can recall, we played one of our friends' birthday parties and made it through 3 songs. But it was all in fun. I mean, we played on their back step. Her mom was nice enough to let us play, and so we had fun. And then after that project, I wanted to start it was originally supposed to be a solo project called Land to Nowhere. But then after, per se, playing with myself for too long, I decided to recruit a drummer named Shane. He came on. We actually played one show under the name Land to Nowhere. And then a couple guys I went to high school with, this is including Adam from the previous band, and my buddy Cordell on bass. We formed Land to Nowhere. We were together for about 8 or 9 months, and we played a handful of shows. I can remember one show in particular. We were all kind of blown away because there was over 500 people that came to the show, and after we played, most of them left. And I'll never forget that moment. We were like, "Wow, all these people came just to see us." It was really cool. So we had some originals and this and that. We were planning a reunion concert for this summer. We'll see how that plays out with all this COVID stuff, unfortunately. I'm assuming if it doesn't happen this year, we'll aim for next year. It's something I bugged the guys about for the last 3 or 4 years, because it's been about 13, 14 years since we've been on stage with each other. So,
Yeah.
I'd like to bring back that nostalgia, and, let's go and have a good time like we're 15 all over again, kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Well, so thank you for sharing that sort of one snippet there from your background. But I would love to have you kind of just do a really 30,000-foot view and just to kind of give us a synopsis of your kind of musical career and your kind of a high-level description. We'll delve into the details, certainly. We'll show some videos and we'll show some photos, and you can talk more about that. But, if somebody was in the elevator with you and say, "Tell me about James Beaudry," and you have just, a number of seconds to tell them, what would be the key things you would tell us?
Rock and roll in a different way.
Yeah.
Whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
And James Beaudry from the James Beaudry Band.
Any thanks to Tony Roofer for that?
Yes, we can. Yeah, those are the 3 key things, because I believe my music is rock and roll in a different way. It's and it's also whatever you want it to be, because I want you, the listener, the fans of music, to interpret my music the way you want to. I'm not going to tell you it's rock and roll, even though in my opinion it is. Maybe you take it as something else, and I never wanted to tour people, so I believe it's rock and roll in a different way, and whatever you want it to be.
Right.
Obviously, and I'm James Beaudry from the James Beaudry Band. So,
Right, right. And on top of that, I know in the time that we have, you're going to share some personal challenges and some victories and some all of those things as well. Maybe give us a snapshot of that, just an introduction into what you'll be sharing later on as well, James, beyond the music.
well, beyond the music, share a little bit about my my past addictions. With alcohol and drugs.
Hmm.
That's a tough one. Being I do play music and I'm in the bars
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So that's tough to be around. Also, when I was a child, I was sexually assaulted on multiple occasions, and that's
Hmm.
something I do like to bring up in conversations when the time is given, because I believe it's something I should talk about to try to maybe help somebody out there that has gone through the same thing as me, that doesn't know how to deal with it, or maybe they blame themselves. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's not something that should happen, of course, but it is also something not to be ashamed of. I see that you should be, the word isn't proud, but you should be proud to talk about it and not be ashamed to say, what, this happened to me, and you don't let it control you or ruin you as a person. You grow from your experiences, I
You
guess.
bet, you bet. So we're looking forward to hearing some of your lessons learned and wisdom and sort of courage that comes from that. I know you have been victorious on a number of fronts, and we'll get to some of those stories. But uh, so there's a music aspect, there's the kind of life challenges and life struggles, and lessons learned from that, and wisdom to be shared firsthand. Was there a third area that you wanted to focus the conversation here, James?
Well, maybe just life and COVID and stuff.
Hmm. Yeah,
That would be my big thing, because lots of people are still having a hard time trying to combat this boredom we have.
right, right. Yeah, yeah, you bet. So why don't we start? Do you want to start with music, or do you want to start with whichever way you want to start with? Let's sort of.
Hey, it's your show. Wherever you think we should go first, let's do it.
All right. Well, I think we're going to start. We're going to start with the life challenges first, and then we'll get into the music. So tell us the story, James, if you could, about the challenges that you faced there, and how you overcome it, and how difficult it was, and really, we all have different challenges in life, and some of these wisdom and life lessons are very transferable. So even if you don't have the same situations as James did, perhaps you can glean some inspiration and insights from that as well. So if you could share some of that, James, that would be great.
For sure. Well, I mean, the big thing, obviously, like I said, was when I was about 9 or 10, somewhere around there. It might even been a little younger. There was a family friend, and I use quotations because obviously a friend and or family doesn't do something so horrible to a child. But long story short, yeah, I was sexually assaulted as a kid, and it took me many years to even tell my parents about it.
Hmm.
Um, I learned lots from it in the aspect of the person who did it to me. He became a vegetable. He got into a really bad car accident,
Hmm.
and yeah, I had to go see him, if it makes any sense.
Hmm.
This was still even before I had told my parents about it or anything,
Yeah.
and I had found out because obviously when this person had moved out and moved on in life, we didn't have any contact, and
Hmm.
he ended up getting in. Sorry, this is one of those things that's tough to talk about, so I kind of
Absolutely.
jump around with my words, but yeah, I had found out he got into a car accident. I found out what hospital he was in, and I told my parents I have to go see him. Just to I don't know. I was still very young when we went and saw him. I'm going to say maybe 11 or 12, maybe.
Hmm.
And there was just something, I think, even as a kid, that I had to go and see him in that state, if that makes any sense. Just to, I don't know, maybe it was to start healing, or maybe it was to learn forgiveness, or the big thing I learned from it was karma.
Mm-hmm.
Because no offense, this person kind of came and kind of blew up my childhood, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I won't say ruined it because I had a good childhood, but in some aspects, ruined some things. Um, so it taught me about karma because I learned that if you do bad on others, some chances are something bad's going to happen to you, whether it's just the circle of life and how it goes or whatever. I believe hands down it's karma.
That's a pretty
Um,
deep lessons at 11 years old there, my friend.
100%, right? Well, and that's where I say it did take me a few more years to really open my eyes about it. When I told my parents, of course, lots of people were mad, lots of people were upset and sad, and just like I was too. Um, and then, of course, I started seeing therapists, and I started seeing different psychologists and trying to deal with it. But I'll never forget standing there, and the psychologist asked my parents, "Do you think he is making this up?" Now, as an adult, I understand why they have to ask stuff like that, right? Because kids will make up silly things to get people in trouble or think it's
Mm-hmm.
funny or anything like that. But I remember my reaction was not pleasant even as a kid. I got very, very angry at that lady for even trying to insist that I was making this up,
Mm-hmm.
um, which I think kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together for her that I wasn't making this up, because why would a kid get so
Mm-hmm.
upset about it, right? And honestly, even those few years of psychologists and this and that I wouldn't say it didn't help, because I did learn a lot, but it didn't help me start with my closure aspect. It was maybe only a couple of years ago I really started to, pardon me, started to really deal with it on a good level, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when I got sober, which is a whole different aspect. I'll get into it in a second here.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
but yeah,
we appreciate your sharing. It must be difficult, but I think a person who goes through challenges like you have, like I have, in different ways, always learns some valuable lessons. Now, some of these lessons are not necessarily new to anybody, but I think it's helpful for our viewers who may be at a point where hearing it from you somehow resonate in a different way than hearing it in the news, right? So please share.
100%. Well, and that's the thing. That's why I say, it's not something I ever shy away from talking about or sharing with anybody, because it is a very real thing. And how I look at it is that if we decide to not talk about it, it's only going to get worse. I mean, it's already a really bad thing that happens all the time. But have we, have people like me that are open about it and are going to talk about it, and not
Mhm.
shy away from, yeah, when I was a kid, I had some horrible things done to me, but I'm not going to let that hold me back from the person I'm supposed to be. I'm only going to help it. Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's only going to help me grow
Mhm.
and become the better person that I want to be.
Mhm.
So in aspects like that, it's something that even I still have my days where it makes me very angry, where it makes me absolutely, I want to yell and I want to scream and I want to punch everything, because I ask why. I still have that question from time to time. Why did this happen to me? Why do I have to go through these emotions? And then I have my days where I'm not. I won't say I'm okay with what happened, obviously, but I guess mentally I'm like, okay, well, it happened, so let's do what I'm doing right now, and let's
Mhm.
talk about it. And there's different aspects to it. It is very hard to, I guess, get to where I am with it, to where I will talk openly about it. It took me many, many years, and that's what I was saying. Probably a couple of years ago, I just over 2.5 years sober.
Mhm.
Now, this is the other part of the story
I've
where
been following you, and I've been hearing the reports, and I see the various accolades from AA there, and congratulations along the way.
no, thank you very much. I wouldn't say it's something I didn't think I could do, but if you would have asked me very early on in my recovery before my last relapse, I probably would have laughed in your face and said, "No, this isn't something I'm gonna do," because I quite enjoyed partying. I quite enjoyed drinking too much, and then getting into trouble. Let's just put it that way.
But
Um,
but you've also
you know,
learned what's not good for you on a long run, right?
100%. I, I started drinking at a very young age, and I can say it's not because I was sexually assaulted, but it's probably part in play, and I was hiding feelings without knowing it,
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. And so, yeah, I mean, a very young age, I don't know, I'm going to say 12, 13. As silly as it sounds, it's not as young as some people I met that started drinking, but I mean, I started drinking really heavily around 14, 15 when my parents divorced.
Mm-hmm.
Like most kids, I took it very hard and I didn't care. I was, smoking weed, doing drugs, getting drunk every other day. I used to call my school to tell them I wasn't coming in just so I could stay home and get drunk. That's just
Mm-hmm.
how I dealt with it, right? That was the only way I knew how to deal with my issues instead of talking about them or this or that,
Mm-hmm.
and so on and so forth. Let's fast forward, I was about 15, so let's fast forward another 10 years, and countless parties, countless booze, countless dope, everything. I was in there like a dirty shirt. I love being the center of attention, so it didn't matter what you had. I was going to get in there so that I could party hard with you guys. Um, and it was September 16th, 15th. Because I don't actually count the next day after my relapse, because when I woke up, I was still really, really drunk and really, really high.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that didn't count. That wasn't a sober day because I was still really messed up the next day.
Mm-hmm.
But it took me to party way too hard, get into some
Trouble.
cocaine.
Yeah.
I'll be flat out honest. There was a lot of cocaine and a lot of booze, and
Mm-hmm.
I partied from give or take 7:30, 8 o'clock at night till almost 8 in the morning. Which anybody who's familiar with party favors knows that it's not hard to party till 8 in the morning at that point. But it's I'm glad I did what I did, and I got into so much trouble, I guess per se, because it really woke me up. Not the next day, but the day after that, when I woke up on September 18th, I woke up and my lips were blue. My lips were blue. My face was white.
Mm-hmm.
I was in bed for almost a month. I was puking blood for almost a month. Barely eating anything, barely drinking any water because I couldn't keep anything down. I was definitely withdrawing from alcohol because it was almost a daily intake thing. So, of course, my body craves it and wants it. And then on top of that, with the cocaine was something else. That within the last 6 months before I stopped drinking, maybe the last year, I had really heavily got into it. It didn't matter where I went. I knew, I guess per se, when I would see someone go, oh, that guy has some cocaine. And I'd go get in there like a dirty shirt because, But I've now come out, I like to think on the other side, 2.5 years sober. To some degree, I try not to take it in as a big deal. Because if I take it in as a big deal, I'm gonna end up taking it too serious, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
I should take it serious, which I do, but I don't want to let it go to my head, because who knows where that's going to lead me. I'd rather be real about it all the time and go and tell myself I'm not allowed to drink. I'm not allowed to even have a sip of booze, because I know where it's going to take me,
Yeah. You know yourself. So thank you for sharing that story, that painful story. And I think you came very close to that edge there that people talk about. And I'm glad that you're still with us here, and share perhaps 2 or 3 key insights or lessons that you gleaned from all that adversity and challenges, some of which were inflicted by others in the environment, and some of it was certainly self-inflicted, and lessons learned from there. If you can pull up 2 or 3 sort of insights, what would they be, James?
Number one is, to me, in my opinion, is number one is definitely stay humble. Always stay humble. Always remember where you come from. Always remember your friends. Always remember your family. Don't do your best not to take life for granted, because for all you know, we might not wake up tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big one, is always be humble. And definitely always remember karma. Karma can be your best friend, and karma can also be your worst enemy. So, what's the old saying in the Bible is "Do unto others as you want done unto you."
Mm-hmm.
Is a very real thing, and we don't even need to go and say old Bible stuff. No, that's just a fact of life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You treat people how you want to be treated,
Mm-hmm.
and a third thing would just try and be happy, no matter what you're going through, no matter how down in the dirt you are, how shitty your life might be at that time. Just always try to look on the bright side of everything, and always try to smile, because for all you know, a smile could change someone else's day. Maybe even looking in the mirror and just smiling, you go, hey,
Mm-hmm.
there's that handsome guy I know.
Yeah. So James, thank you for sharing all of that. We're gonna continue here, and hey, we've been admiring your sort of awesome beard there. I cannot grow a beard even if I wanted to.
Oh,
Uh,
I trimmed it. It was like out to here, but I decided to trim it down a bit.
yeah, yeah.
And
Hey,
I'm finally trying the mustache thing. Oh, I'm touching my face. This is totally against COVID.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I instigated that. I shouldn't have mentioned anything. What I was meaning to say was that is there a way that you can move your camera up so we can see more of your eyes as well throughout the interview? If there isn't, that's fine. But we've been having a pretty good look at your beard there, and it's cool. But yeah, having some eyes action would be good.
Oh,
Eye contact with the audience would be awesome.
we will get this. Half a second. We
You
got
bet.
this.
While you're doing that, let me just tell the audience about James here. So James is an extremely talented musician. I mean, Marlene has said there. In fact, can you see Marlene's comment there or no?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I can. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll show you the audience some clips of your band performing and whatnot. It is a very memorable experience, and so. Tell us more, perhaps. Maybe we'll move on from this segment and get into the music aspect. Now, do you want to maybe show the clip of the band first before we get into it, or you want to get into it first?
Yeah, let's do that. Give him a little introduction, and then I'll tell you about where the James Beaudry Band came from, where we're going, what our plans are.
All right. While I cue that up, you start talking, and once the video comes up, we can then listen to it. Go ahead, introduce the band while I bring that up, James.
So what you're going to see is obviously me, James Beaudry from the James Beaudry Band. I say it a lot so that you don't forget it, because if you forget it, then there's a problem.
James, no marketing.
Don't forget to check us out online. No.
Yeah.
Then we got Colin Mcdonald on the lead guitar, who I've been quoted as saying every single show, Colin Mcdonald is the heart and soul of the James Beaudry Band, and it is because of his sexy guitar licks. It's just he brings so much life to the band. We got JR on the bass, who is our newest member, who's doing phenomenal on picking up the songs and also writing some new songs with us, which is awesome. And we got Richard on the drums, who's been with us for 4 years now, I think, as long as Colin, and it's just absolutely been so much fun.
Yeah, hey James, I'm going to take out both of our videos and bring that in so it comes first, okay? So
sure,
don't be surprised when my video and audio goes away.
We're just sitting here, just waiting. Dune's going to put on some. There we go.
There we go.
Got that popped up. So Dune's going to put on some James Beaudry Band right here. This is from our most recent performance out in Millet. This is our first show in over a year and a half because I had moved away. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I had moved away, so we didn't get to play much at all. I think we played 3 shows in over a year and a half, and so it was nice to get back and go back out and play. And then, of course, unfortunately, COVID-19 happened, so let's hope this isn't our only show this year, but if it is, it was a damn good one. Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the James Beaudry Band. That's just a little... Yeah! That's the James Beaudry Band. It was Rock and Roll Fever. I was supposed to say rock and roll a different way. I have a thing where when I write songs, I like to add rock and roll to like every second lyric. So, yeah, that was fun. It was out in Millet. We ended up, 387 Entertainment asked us if we'd come out and play. We had it booked, I want to say since November, December. It was really good. Yeah, no, it's super cool. I was so happy to finally get on stage again and play some. I do see that you're talking to me on my screen, but I can't hear you. I couldn't hear anything you said, so I don't know if that was on your end. But besides not being able to hear Dune, yeah, so that was a lot of fun. We ended up playing some new covers, which was really cool. We did the breakup song, They Don't Write 'Em Like That Anymore, by Greg Kinn. There you go, Greg Kinn. What else did we do? Summer '69. That was really fun. I had tried to tell myself that all day that day, because I always screwed up the second verse of Summer '69. So I kept saying it the whole way to the show, and then I sang it live, or I sang it right live. Yeah. Do you think I could do it again? No, not gonna happen. Hey, I heard you. I can hear you.
Yeah, no, I muted myself on purpose to give you the kind of free airwave there, buddy. So
that's good.
Tell us more about this James Beaudry Band.
All right, so James Beaudry Band. So
how did it get created? You told me the story about the charity event. Yeah,
yeah,
kind of. If you could share that story with our audience, our viewers, that would be
yeah, of
great.
course, of course. So back in September of 2012, it actually would have been August, I guess, beginning of August. I was working at a gas station in St. Albert, and my boss had called to say, "Hey, my brother's coming in to lock up tonight." So of course I cracked a joke. He was like, "Oh, I had a couple too many wobbly pops. Can't come in and lock up tonight." And he goes, "No, in all seriousness, my house just burnt down." And I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make a joke. Then that's really unfortunate. So, pardon me. I had this idea. Let's put together a benefit concert for him and his family because he had a little son who was 3, I think. So his son was on my mind. Like he has no toys, he has no clothes, he has no like nothing. Nothing's familiar now. So I can understand for a kid that would make them very distraught, make them very very upset, right? So so I talked to him and they didn't need it because of insurance and stuff, which was okay. But he said, "Go ahead and still do it. I'm going to give you a week off before the event." So I ended up that within that week, I got onto breakfast television to promote it with my buddy Justin Littlechild. We got the mayor of St. Albert who came out and did a live auction because he's an auctioneer. We had members of the Edmonton-based band Stereos who did a set. A bunch of amazing artists, and then of course the James Beaudry Band, which at the time I didn't know it was going to be called the James Beaudry Band because it was just James Beaudry and Friends. So this all happened middle of August. We started rehearsing, trying to piece together a set list that we were going to do, and I think actually, can you see it? That piece of paper right up there.
Yeah, yeah.
That here. Let me just show you. I'll just take it down.
Yeah.
So this here, it's going to be backwards, obviously, because it's there, and you can't really.
No, it's not backward. I can read it just fine.
Oh,
Journey
okay.
through life, Cinderella, One Life, Jet Lag, Earthman, Knocking on Heaven's Door, playing a country song. This Joker, right? And so
yeah. So
share the love. Share the love is what your mom came up with for you.
Yes. Share the love, and this was a shirt actually. My boss had he got, I'm gonna say, about 10 or 15 of them made up, which was really nice. It was a nice surprise. I showed up to the venue where we were doing it, and he goes, "Here, these are for you." Some that had security on it for our security that we had, and it was really cool. So yeah, this is obviously, it hangs on my wall because it's a big deal to me. This was the first thing I did that not only created my band, and thank you, Jerry Vag. I also have to say that Jerry B. Vag, if it wasn't for him getting his nephew and his stepson to come and play bass and guitar with me, I don't know what the James Beaudry Band would have become. Because I played with those guys for about 2.5 years. Then everybody kind of went their own ways. And because, fun fact for the James Beaudry Band is I'm the only original member.
I happen to be the guy with the name, right? Hey,
Yeah,
James,
yeah.
what I like to do, thank you for sharing that. That wonderful story about how it was through a charity and trying to help, your boss and trying to help fellow human beings that actually created a band. And I love it so much that your mom was quite creative in coming with a name that I think is quite enduring. Sharing the
Well,
love.
exactly. It's very, we can use it for anything, right? And that's the joyous thing. Share the love. That's generic.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing,
Yeah, I'm going to share some love here, and those are a bunch of photos that you sent me. And we're going to play a game where you're going to talk every photo that flash up. You're going to talk about it just for a few seconds, okay? One
Sure.
or two sentences, and then I'm going to go to the next kind of photo, and you have to say whatever that photo is about, okay? And
Sure.
there's a few photos.
There might be a little delay because we figured it out. So I'll just fill everybody in that the program Dune is using. I'm actually on my phone because, of course, my computers don't want to work the way that computers are supposed to work. So I have to do it from my phone, and there's a slight delay when he changes the screens that you guys can see that I can't see. So here, I'll just show you quickly
Yeah, no, it's good, James, because you will see it before the audience see it. So just focus on your phone and everything's good. Just focus on your phone. So I'm going to take both of our video out here. So we'll go silent here for a minute. All right. Can we see can you see the photo on your phone? It's a bit small right now. I'll make it bigger. Yeah.
No.
Oh, really? Your phone doesn't show that. I'm going to take
No, it's being that delayed. When you put the video on, it worked no problem, but now there's that slight delay.
Hold on, hold on. I'm going to take out my video, okay? So what I want you to do is I won't be there, so you won't hear from me. Literally, just speak to every photo as I flash it on there, and I'll come back when you're done with the photos, okay?
Okay, because being it's still not switching on my screen, which
I'm
isn't a
hoping it will.
problem.
I'm hoping it will. So let me know if it shows, okay? Because you're
Okay.
on a phone, it's a little bit more limited than if you were on a computer. It'd
Yeah.
be a lot richer. But anyway,
Unfortunately, nothing changed on here, but I do see it on my computer screen. So I might be delayed on this live one, but I see that it's if you want to pop her back up, yeah, it is. Again, it's still a little behind, but I see it here. The Isolation Concert Series presented by iView for You and 387 Entertainment every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. That is on iView for You Facebook page. It's a concert series that I wanted to do during this COVID thing. Because let's face it, COVID is kind of. Oh, there, it popped up. I can see it on my screen now, so we won't be delayed, hopefully.
I
But
had to do
yeah,
some gymnastics there, but when you're on a phone, it's a little bit more limited and it's a little bit buggy. Whereas if you're
yeah.
on a computer, everything is really smooth. But anyway, I'm going to take my video out. So every photo, just talk about it, and then I'll advance to the next photo. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. If there happens to be a delay on here, like I said, I am following on the computer, so I can see it there because I can see your video on here, but not on here. So silly technology, I say. But anyways, like I was saying, Isolation Concert Series on iView for You's Facebook page every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Um, yeah, super, super cool. We got amazing artists. That picture right there that he just put up, I'm wearing all this makeup. I have blonde hair, my ripped jeans. Let's see, eyeliner. I believe I was wearing mascara. I'm sure I was probably wearing nail polish and stuff. That's Land to Nowhere's very first show that we ever played. It was just me and Shane, me and the drummer. So much fun at a little place called Black Spot Cafe. This is actually Lance Nowhere when we were a band. This is one of my favorite pictures ever of myself. I don't know why, but we were playing in a church, and being, we were kids, we always thought, oh, it's so cool to swear on stage and stuff. So we were all like, we don't know how we're not going to be able to swear while we're on stage. It was silly, 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 silly stuff. But that was a fun show. That was great. This is 7 Second Tragedy. That's obviously me on the far left. Left, yeah, because it would still be the same. So left, AJ's in the middle, Adam's on the right. Again, makeup, 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 makeup. That was the thing when I was a kid. That's Jordan Eberle. I might sound really stupid. I don't think he plays for us anymore. I don't know, because that's how much I follow hockey, to be honest, without sounding bad. That picture right there is from a band I played with called Chaos Element. We only did one show, but those pink pants, I tell you, made my butt look really nice. That is Mr. Jeff Neal and his historic guitar. I believe it's a Fender, if I'm correct. Saw Street Heart, had some drinks with them after the show. He had his guitar there, and I was like, "Can I please hold it and get a picture?" And I asked him to use this on almost every Street Heart record, and he said yes. So to me, it was like holding a piece of rock and roll history. That was a very cool moment for me. I've met a lot of people and stuff, but now this was really cool. Shannon Tweed, I'm sure you guys all know her. Pardon me. Shannon Tweed, obviously Gene Simmons' wife. Gene Simmons had come to Edmonton's Comic-Con, or whatever we call it, the Edmonton Expo, whatever, you know what I mean. And he put on a concert. The James Beaudry Band entered the Bears contest to try and open for him. From what I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but from what I heard, we were like merely almost there to open. Our buddies in Savage Playground actually got to open for them, which is amazing. That was really cool to see them perform. We actually got to meet Gene, which was really really cool. And then his wife was out and about, and so me and my drummer met her, which was super super cool. That picture, let me try to get a little bit closer here. That picture was at a Edmonton's Band Aid. I believe that was probably for Beaners and Weens because I guitar solo in that song, and I think that's the only song I really guitar solo in. So that was a favorite picture of mine because I'm like right in action, you can see it. So that was really cool. Um, yeah. And I actually don't use that guitar anymore. I used to always use Colin's guitar, but I got my own now. That picture is from very early on in the James Beaudry Band, but still relevant because it's me. uh, that picture we in St. Albert. I don't know if anybody was familiar where they had the old movie theater down in Grandin and stuff. They had started to tear it down, and so there's rubble everywhere. And we ended up going to do a bunch of photo shoot there, which was really really fun and really cool. So I quite enjoyed that. That was really fun. This is Land to Nowhere again. This was when we used to play at Avenue Theater, which was Avenue Skate Park at the time. Again, makeup all the time, makeup. So I'm excited to do a reunion to put the makeup back on. Those are the kitties in BC. That's what I didn't say. I did move to BC for about a year and a bit. And those are the kitties. The one on the left is my baby. That's her name, my baby, but she's my kitty. The one on the left is called Shadow. Cutest kitties ever. We weren't sure if they'd get along, but now they're like sisters and play all the time, which is awesome. So I miss those kitties lots. This is that's me and my grandmother and my sister and my dad. One time when we went and visited grandma when we were down visiting from BC, figured we better get some pictures. So that one's close to my heart because it's my grandma and my dad and my sister and people I love very much. That's it's another Land to Nowhere one. I think, yeah. Yeah. Oh, look. That's my mom. That's my mom. That's my mommy. I love her. She's definitely, my mom, my dad, my stepdad, my stepmom. They all always supported me, which is really nice. That's a picture from my dad's wedding with my sister. It was a very happy day for him. I remember being upset because the Backstreet Boys were in town and I couldn't go because he got married. But first world problems. No, that was a really good day. That right there is from a thing called Rock Slam, which Sasha Hubbard puts on every year. I do believe every year. We've played it a couple times. This was the first time we did it, and the very first time we ever played an all original set. We played songs that we were working on and we never thought would go anywhere, and we figured, screw it. Let's play a full all original set, and that's what we did for I think just over an hour. It was really fun, which brought us to only playing a couple of covers live and trying to get our songs out there. So that was really fun. I think that was back in 2015. This was at Rendezvous Pub. I just picked that picture because I think it's really good because you can see the passion in me, I guess you can say. I always try to put everything into it. That was at Titan Sound for our album release. Again, I do believe I was going into a guitar solo in Beaners and Weens. You can always capture that shot when I'm doing that. There's also a picture on Facebook, I don't know if I sent it, of me standing on the bar at Titan. And everybody's like, oh, you're going to fall. No, it's rock and roll. I'm not going to fall. There's me and Colin. Colin Mcdonald plays in the Colin Mcdonald Band. Great local cover band. Amazing. Go and see them, seriously, when you can. And Mindwiser, Colin also plays in Mindwiser. Also the James Beaudry Band, obviously, but he is truly my other heart and soul of this band. I love all my members exactly the same, but Colin gets just a little bit more, just because he's so amazing at his craft and what he does. Oh, so we played a Pride show at Chaw Island when it was still a venue bar, and yeah, I got all dressed up. I figured, why not? It's more the merrier, eh? That's me and my sisters, Jazzy and Janae. They're truly my rock, and they keep me humble at the end of the day, because I would like to think that I'm a role model to them. So I gotta keep my life on track so that they can see that you should keep your life on track. That's baby James. That's me. Look, I was so cute. I was so adorable. Now what happened? Oh, that was us. So August 9th of last year, the day after my birthday, there was an AC/DC tribute band playing in Kamloops. So my parents said, well, for your birthday, you want to go party at some AC/DC? I said, oh, sure. So we went, and my youngest sister, Janae, because the guy who played Angus in the band, he did a damn good job, and he did all the duck walk and everything. And she's like, well, that guy has a lot of energy. He's kind of weird. So I figured, well, I'll have to show you again. I know I showed you in the past, but so I showed her some AC/DC videos when we got home, and she was like, oh, wow, they're amazing. So hopefully they come back around one more time, because I got to take those two girls, because AC/DC is the greatest ever. So now that picture. My girlfriend actually made that one up, just because I was making some funny face with the face changer thing on Facebook. So she said I look like that cat. This was the day I was leaving BC, so you can see that our eyes are all kind of watery or whatever. But memories, and good times. That's why I like to think. And that's me and my grandmother at Christmas. This past Christmas, we all got to get together as a family. 4 or 5 years, I think, since my grandfather passed away. I believe it was 5 years this March. And we hadn't really done a Christmas since my grandfather passed away. So it was really nice to get together, the entire family, and have dinner together and catch up and see everybody. It was really nice. As you can hear it by my nose is really plugged today because it's a beautiful day. And that's what happens with allergies,
Hey, can you hear me now again, James?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the shared screen here, hoping that will help with the causes. So thank you for sharing really memories from your life and insights and lessons learned. I'm going to maybe have you summarize a little bit. We talked a lot about a lot of different things, but if there's sort of three things that you want our viewers to kind of go away remembering, what would those three things be? Whether it's band related, whether it's life related, to overcome adversity, any of those things. 3 or 4 if you want, but key things that you want people to remember about this conversation that you've shared.
I'm James Beaudry from the James Beaudry Band.
Sorry? No, hold on. Let me help them. Let me do a visual cue, okay? So, how about that? How about that?
There. But yeah, that's most important. Never forget that. That's the most important. Again, things to walk away with is never be afraid of who you are and the things you want in life, because you're always going to have the people who tell you you're not good enough at it, or you're not going to make it where you think you should be. To me, I like looking at it. I do my best not to say if I hit it big, it's when I hit it big. Always use contents as to it's going to happen. Don't ever doubt yourself. If you're passionate about something, love what you do and push forward. Don't let anybody in this world tell you can't, because there's so much that you can accomplish. And that's probably the biggest thing, is never shy away from who you are. the things you want to do. Anything in life is possible as long as you push forward and you make it happen. It's not going to happen if you don't make it happen for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Was there another one?
Another one.
Yeah. If you think about all that you shared today, what would be another item that you want to pull out for our audience?
I'd have to go back to a previous answer and just remind everybody to stay humble, especially during these trying times right now with the coronavirus, COVID-19. It's not something to joke around about. Let me put it this way: it's not something to joke around about, but we're going to, because in every unfortunate situation, we have to find humor in it to help us carry on. But remember, don't hesitate to reach out to your friends or your family or just anybody just to make sure they're doing okay, because right now this COVID is driving people crazy with not being able to hang out with our friends and not being able to, simply hug somebody or kiss somebody we love is the most trying thing. I know for me, it's the hardest. I love hugs. Hugs are the greatest. I hug everybody, but right now I can't. And, so just remember to wash your hands, check in on all your friends, stay humble, and don't forget that I'm James Beaudry from the James Beaudry Band.
Of course.
Oh, and to rock and roll in a different way. I end almost every video like that.
All right. There you go. Well, here's how I like you to end. I would like you to tell a story. And once you finish telling that story, we're going to say goodbye to our viewers here. But the story that I'd like you to share with our viewers is a story about B.B. King, if you don't mind. B.B. King, tell us the story that led up to it and the outcome of it and what you learned from that.
Okay, I will. Can you hold that thought for half a second?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Can you entertain for half a second?
I'll be
absolutely. Right back.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. So James is taking a trip down memory lane or something or other. He'll come back with a surprise of some sort. I'm sure it'll be worth it because, hey, Everett, hi, Marlene, and we have some friends here that's been commenting, and we have some more friends that's been watching and liking and whatever have you. If you have any questions for James, feel free to chime in as well. But when I first met James, my thought was, this is a energetic dude. This is a very flamboyant, if you will, on stage. And when I watch him, though, he also does interviews and talks and whatnot. I see another side of James, and that is the very reflective and very, I guess reflective is the main way I would describe it, where he's very conscientious about some of the key concepts that I sometimes say to people that some of his conversations that I heard him had was a little bit beyond his years even. I think, James, it's safe to say that you're a little bit younger than I am, and I was quite impressed when I watched you speaking and interviewing people. So tell us this story. You went away, you got something, you came back.
There was someone at my door. I thought I could hear someone knocking, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm busy.
Maybe he orders an Amazon kind of package, but
it wasn't today. But
all right. Well, tell us the story about B.B. King, and we're going to end with that.
All right. So, long story short, as we said earlier, I don't think I actually mentioned this, so it's a great segue to end it. Is I have a show called I View for You. It's an interview show. I started about 5 years ago. Interviewed countless people, but one that I was
give us some names beyond B.B. King.
Okay, so some names would be Rudy Sarzo. He's the original bass player for Quiet Riot with Randy Rhoads back in the day. Same with Ozzy Osbourne and Randy Rhoads back in the day. Blue Oyster Cult, he's played with everybody. George Boulanger from Harlequin. Daniel Todd from I View for You. Or from Platinum Blonde. I'm from I View for You. Dan Todd's actually been, I believe, our most reoccurring guest. I think we've had him on the show 3 or 4 times, which is really cool. Patrick Kennison plays lead guitar for Lita Ford and a band called Heaven Below. Who else do we have? I won't give a date yet, but we do have Mr. Gary Grace, who plays drums for Prism. He is actually going to be doing a drum clinic closer to the end of May on iView for You. So that's going to be really fun. A guy named Jack Ashford. He's original member from Motown back in the day. That was a really fun interview. I actually had to break it into 2 parts because it was so long. And that's not including the hour and a half conversation we had after the interview, which was even cooler, to get even more of a background story on some of the questions I had asked that didn't feel fitting for the interview, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, the list goes on between local artists like Paul Wojda or Barrett Kolesko from All Else Fails, to big names such as Cat Lawrence from Headpins, or again Rudy Sarzo. I'm trying to rack my brain really quick because I've done so many interviews that it's two interviews actually never saw the light of day, which maybe one day they will. That was Al Harlow, lead singer of Prism, and Jeff Neal from Streetheart. Obviously before Kenny had passed, Kenny Shields. So it was, I don't know. Those ones never got aired. But anyway, so the BB King story to end things off.
You bet.
So iView for You, again, it was just an interview show. I was trying to mainly keep it to celebrities at first, but let's face it, it's not that easy to get a hold of your favorite celebrities. So I worked night and day to get either BB King's personal email address, which obviously didn't happen, or to get a hold of his manager, but like really get a hold of his manager, not through the agency, not through anything, directly him. And I managed to find all that info that I wanted. So I was like, perfect. Tomorrow I'm going to send an email. Let's get BB King on the show, because I knew he was getting up there in age and I knew his health wasn't too great. So I figured, you know what, this would be a great interview to get him well he's not doing anything, and trying to get a really inside look on BB King's life, because let's face it, in my opinion, king of blues, and he's just incredible at what he does. So I woke up the next morning, made sure I got the email. Okay, perfect. Gonna send it off, but of course, like usual, let's check Facebook and Google and this and that, and BB King passed away. So I'm like sitting there, almost sadness, if that makes any sense. I wasn't like upset, but I was genuinely, I guess, a little bit sad about it, because it was a big deal to me. This was going to probably be one of my biggest interviews, assuming it would have played out. So I sat for another couple days, and I thought, well, I know Russell Jackson. Russell Jackson played bass in the 80s for BB King. So I thought, okay, well, we can get him on the show and we can reminisce and not a memorial, but we can remember BB King. And then I started thinking, who else, either locally or internationally, do I know that BB King is an inspiration to them? And my buddy Sheldon Smoke came to mind, because he was always talking about the simplicity of my writing. And then he would bring up BB King and say, you listen to his guitar solos, they're only like 3 or 4 notes, but it's just how he does it that makes it so unique and so awesome to listen to, just because it's only one simple bend 3 times. Well, when BB King does it, it's not a simple bend 3 times. It is a bend 3 times that blows your mind for some reason, So Sheldon jumped in there, which was really nice. And then also another local artist, I can see his face, Marshall Lawrence. We got him on too, because he's a blues extraordinaire,
the doctor of the blues.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my logic. So yeah, so we got those 3 on. I figured, let's do again, not a memorial. What's the word I'm looking for? Just a program on the remembrance and the life of BB King, pretty much, So I played one of my favorite songs by him, just to kick it off with a little bit of a bio. I wish I could remember. I can hear the intro in my head, but all the words aren't coming to me. But there was some fascinating things I had learned about BB King through doing research for this program. So yeah, it was really nice, especially to get Russell Jackson on. Was was a privilege and an honor to me, because I know he is a busy guy, and
Mm-hmm.
he didn't have to, but he really enjoyed the 20 minutes or so that we chatted about BB, and we played one of his favorite songs that he loved playing with BB, which is really cool because we actually got to have, I guess, a perspective of BB King that we wouldn't have been able to get from anybody else except for Russell, because he was there. He
Mm-hmm.
lived it, so it was really cool. And one more note about that, is one interview that never happened, but it was in the works, was with Mr. Vinnie Paul from Pantera and Hell Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had spoken with him on a couple occasions, and he was on tour with Hell Yeah at the time, I believe. And he said, when this tour is done, get a hold of us, and or get a hold of me, and we'll set it all up. And it must have been a week or two before I had did that, and sadly he passed away, which was kind of damn, but
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah. So James, thank you for sharing your really your life with us in terms of the struggles, the challenges, the victory, and the continued fight to stay on the right side of that addiction, and to always be passionate about your music and your career in your music and your dreams. And I know you are a hard worker. I know you are very serious about the business of music and making it. And so best of luck with that. And what would be sort of one word or one phrase you would say to our viewers as we say goodbye here, James? Anything at all?
Smile.
Smile.
Just smile.
Smile.
Smiles are better than frowns. Plus, to frown, it takes away more muscle, I think, right? So
Yeah,
just smile. That's it. Well, it's nice out. Go in your backyard.
Smile. On that note, I wish all of you out there, and you, James, and your family, all the best in this challenging time that we're living in here. And I really wish that you have a great day today, folks. And so take good care of yourself, take good care of one another. And until we meet again, have a wonderful day, wonderful week, and awesome month, and so on.
And don't forget to wash your hands. Most important.
And don't forget, this was James Beaudry from the James Beaudry Band.
You got it! Hey, I'm back.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say thank you to everybody who watched today. Thank you for all the comments, and thank you, Dune. What you're doing is not only giving people an avenue to stay connected, but you're also helping all of us stay connected, which is really cool, and I appreciate it, because it's really nice to not only see my friends but people I don't know coming on and talking about their lives. This is such an awesome way to help everybody right now during these difficult times to stay connected. So to you, thank you. I know I'm going to safely assume I can speak for everybody and say thank you for what you're doing, because it's helping keep us sane. If I wasn't talking to you right now, I'd probably be playing video games. And I'd rather be talking to you right now, because video games have been getting really mindless. So,
well, it's my pleasure, James. My pleasure, and thank you, everybody who's watching and listening, and I guess we're gonna go out with this phrase, and this phrase probably have been said in the media before, but we're gonna say it again here. So while we are physically distancing, let's make sure we are socially and emotionally connected with our community. So this is a time to reach out. So I'm glad that you're able to reach out to our friends out there with this talk, James. And so thank you for your time and your effort into this, and best wishes, my friend.
Yes, thank you very much, and look forward to watching some more from you.
Mm-hmm.